Hi everybody, it's Sarah Cray with Let's Make Art, and we like to watercolor. We do a new project every single week, and sometimes we like to throw in a little bonus for you, which is what we're doing today.
I'm doing a bonus shimmy because I'm so excited.
Keenan's doing his bonus dance. This is our rainbow trout.
Sorry, quick one.
Lots of fun, so many great colors, and perfect for Father's Day, which is why I'm making it and releasing it as a bonus. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Okay, so we use 3 colors for this project. The first color is...
We think.
is amber yellow. I guess the story behind that is I was like, Keenan, there's only 3 colors used in this. And he's like, really? And I'm like, well, gosh, I think so. Like, that's what I wrote down.
I hope that's right.
I hope that's right. We'll find out right now while I'm painting. Okay, the next color is cherry red. And the last color is Norway blue. Those 3, wonderful, gorgeous, great color. And we're gonna mix all the other colors that are on this fish. So it's gonna be a good time. We have 6 steps for this project. So the very first step is we are going to do the tail. The second step is the coloring on the bottom of the fish. The third step is the coloring on the top of the fish because they're different colors. Fourth step is this middle stripe, where if you look at rainbow trouts, they have that kind of pink stripe right through the center of them. And the 5th step, we are going to do the head / eyeball. And the last step are the dots and the fins. Oh, I forgot the water. Tail and water is step 1.
It's a fish out of water.
It's a fish out of water, in water with dots. Can you see that in the frame?
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks great. I can't see the whole thing, but I can see most of it.
So we have this outline. If you buy the kit, the outline will be included, or you can download the outline on our website for free. What I started to try and do, which is why there's dots and dashes, is it's like a reminder of you that the dashes are areas where there's shadow or highlight, and so like to be soft because the hard lines will show up in the fish. Does that make sense? We're gonna try it.
You put hard lines
so like the outside
to
is...
remind them to be soft.
Yes, when they're tracing.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's see how that works. It's my first time really trying it, so. But what I do want to point out is this top area that's dotted, this is a glare. So when we're painting, we will not paint this part. This dotted area middle here is the stripe. This dotted area at the bottom is the shadow, and this dotted area is the shadowing on the fin.
And this little piggy went ee all the way home.
Okay, we're gonna start off with, we're gonna put the water in first and then we'll do the fin. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my Norway and add a little bit of water to it to lighten up that color because I want a very soft color, okay? And then I'm just gonna go along the edge of my fish and just put a hint of water in here. Now, as you can see, I'm kind of like doing dash marks and then also kind of pushing the water away because I want it to almost feel like the fish is swimming in the water, and so you know when you like move in the water it makes a current. So that's why there's kind of like a direction going on here. And then of course I like to drop in a little stronger color at the top, maybe some watercolor textures, which can be achieved just by doing droplets of water. And then a little at the front too. So again, I'm not totally surrounding the entire fish. I'm just kind of doing some pieces here and there, but the direction is like angled because I want to give that illusion of it moving in the water. And we'll do the water drops actually at the end. How about that? So we'll do the water texture and then the splatters we'll do at the end. I'm just going to keep adding steps as we go.
Step number 10.
Step number 10. Step number 24.
We've been here for 2 days.
I'm so hungry. Good thing this paint isn't toxic.
I've forgotten my name.
That was a joke about me eating the paint, but I don't think it came across. So I'm just kind of going around. I had a little bit of purple in my brush. That's why there's purple right here, but I don't care that that's there. It's rainbow water with a rainbow fish, you know what I mean?
However, magical land.
If you have a magic eraser, you might be able to, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser can rub that out. But softly, because it will destroy your paper. Now, if you put too much color in there and you don't want that much color, you can always lift color using your paintbrush, and then you dab it on your paper towel, like so. Or maybe you want the color to be very strong. It is your painting. You can make all of those decisions yourself. And just a little behind the tail. Again, I'm mainly using water for this. Not a lot of paint. And that's how I'm getting that really soft color of blue that I really enjoy. Okay. Now we're gonna do our tail. So if you look at pictures of rainbow trouts, they're sometimes, how do I say this? They kind of have an iridescent skin. And they do have that pink stripe, but like they're actually, the ones that I looked at were mostly green, like had like a greenish brown with the pink stripe in the middle. And I just want to say that you can take the opportunity to, like, if you were in like a photo editing program and just like turn up the saturation and see what colors are there. Because like technically I don't think the fish's like fin right here is that purple, but it's our painting, so we get to make those decisions. So really have fun with color in this one, and that's the fun of painting, is being able to be like, I know that you're usually like a poo brown, but let's make you purple. You know?
You're welcome. We're just making over fish all over the world.
I just did you a favor, and you look fabulous. Okay, so to get that kind of purpley color, I'm gonna take my Norway blue and grab a little bit of my cherry. And look at that gorgeous color. Now, if you want more of a blue purple, you're gonna do an extra swap of blue on the side there. Can they see that okay?
Yeah, they can.
Okay, so then I'm gonna start putting in my fin. Now, the dotted lines are where it's a little bit darker.
What color is that red?
Cherry red.
Cherry red?
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that what I said?
Yes.
You just freaked me out. Tell me what you're thinking.
I'm thinking Dr. Page Martin is called Cherry Red.
Yeah.
Did you say you're using Dr. Page Martin?
I'm using Dr. Page Martin.
But did you tell them that?
Well, I figured by the names of the colors.
I just assumed that you were...
Using Dandelion?
Yeah.
I'm mixing it up this time.
Wow. I didn't...
I probably should have said that.
I didn't even realize. I was like, ah.
No, we're using Dr. P.H. Martin for this project.
Cool.
Because it's fun to use different paint brands.
Yeah, cool.
So, thanks, Keenan, for pointing that out. I probably actually should have said that.
I just wanted to make sure you were saying the right colors.
No,
I'm sorry.
Thank you for looking out. I tend to say the wrong colors all the time. So, okay, so I'm putting in the darker areas here. Now, be aware, my friends, because if your water is wet around your fin, the light blue wash that you just put in, be careful about touching those wet areas because that color will spread everywhere. Now, another thing that we get to do is I can just do like more of a pink purple wash in here too. So I'm going to introduce a little bit of that. And fill it in. Like so. Sorry, there's something in my eye.
Hair.
Hair. It's called hair. So again, take the time to just like drop in color and water and get cool textures and really play with these fun areas. Kind of want like a greenish blue. If you want kind of a turquoisey blue, mix a tiny, tiny bit of amber yellow in with your Norway, and you can get this really pretty turquoisey blue too. If you like that sort of thing, you know, if you're into that. Okay, so there's step one. You guys are doing great. We're gonna move on to step two. We're gonna do the bottom part of the fish, which is a very similar color to what we just painted the tail. It's kind of like that purpley blue color. So I'm just gonna go along the bottom here using that. Ooh, too purple. Grab some more blue. Okay, and then I just use water to spread it up. And again, even in this instance, like this is reading really, really just one tone of blue kind of. Like don't be afraid to just be like, now it's purple over here. Because the more that you kind of mix up those colors, the more visual interest this painting will have. So don't be afraid to play or try something new. And then I'm gonna avoid the fins because I'm not doing the fins yet. So I'm just kind of going along. And then I'm gonna, even though I went to my dash mark, I'm just gonna use water to kind of blend this out because we don't like hard lines. And that's the scary thing with using outlines when you're painting is you tend to just fill in those colored areas or those outlined areas and that's it without letting it transition out. And then it starts to look chunky and blocky. So, you know, just blend out. And it's okay if you go past your outlines. Okay, now we're going to do the top part, which is kind of like a green-orange color. So I'm gonna use my amber yellow and grab a tiny, tiny bit of blue. And that is what's gonna make this muddy, weird color here. It's like an olivey green almost with undertones of orange. And this is why I love color mixing. Because if I were to use just straight green, then I wouldn't get the undertones of the colors that I use to mix it. Does that make sense?
Yes. It makes me think, the color makes me of artichoke. Like
yeah.
cooked on a
Yeah,
pizza
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, like
covered in cheese.
Yes.
Maybe.
Maybe with the, do you go to Mod? Because I
Yes.
get artichoke with bacon and Parmesan and some sriracha on top. And it is divine.
That sounds divine.
But it's with the white cream sauce, not marinara.
Oh yeah. That's a great idea.
It's so good. Okay. So same thing. We're going to take this like mixture color here. We're going to do the top part. We're going to avoid the fin. And then I'm going to rinse my brush a couple of times and then just use water to spread out this color. And then of course, so I went to the tip of the nose, but avoid this top sectioned area. That's our glare. And then you can do hints of a little bit of green in there maybe. A little bit more green. Okay, and then just keep kind of going down. And then use water to spread it out. Now, if I'm using water right here to spread this out and this color is really green, and I'm like, man, I really want more of a orangey color, well, that's fine. I'm gonna grab some amber yellow, put some water on it so it's not super dark, and use the orange with water to spread it out. And now it has that gold undertone or that warm undertone that I'm looking for. And I'm just gonna have that go right to the tail. Now, it's gonna blend where it meets that tail, and that's okay. I actually think that color is really cool, and I'm embracing it. So I'm just gonna kind of keep pulling this really light wash down, avoiding the glare and the stripe. And if you want, like, that's a really neutral color. So if you want, like, no, I want it to be a little bit warmer, you can do a little bit of orange wash in there. And again, like, feel free to, like, go crazy if you want, you know? I'm just gonna work this line a little bit. Blend that out. Okay, so that is step 3. Now we're gonna move on to step 4. We're gonna do this stripe in the middle. So to get this color, which it's more of like a salmon-y color, I'm gonna take my cherry red and I'm going to grab some amber yellow and mix that together. Now, if you want more of a stronger pink, you can use straight cherry red if you want. Like, that's totally your choice. I wanted to tone it down a little bit. So I have my color and I'm just gonna like put it in just at the top here. And then I like to take water and spread it out. Oh, look at that color. So I'm spreading out that area.
Kind of ketchup-y.
Yes, it is. And then don't stay within just this outline. Keep, like, transition out. You know what I mean? Like, don't do a hard stop. Oh, yeah, look at that color. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. There's that. And then if you want to do, like, maybe it's a stronger stripe, you can do another layer. Just remember to kind of transition it out. I mean, just look at this. Just look at this area alone. Look at all the colors that are in there. It's like so beautiful, so great. I love this project. Okay, so there is our body of the fish. Now we're going to move on to step number 5. We're going to do the head. So I am going to take this orangey color that I mixed for the top part and kind of finish off the top of the nose using that. And I'm just going to use water and spread that around. It's even going in the blue area, that's okay. And I'm going to avoid these 2 chunks right here because those are some like stronger colored areas. Or if you do paint them, it's not a big deal because we're going to put a strong color on top. Okay? We're going to do this. We have to kind of work around in different areas. So I don't want to put in these colored chunks right now because this area is wet, so it will blend. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to do the eyeball part, the pupil, and then I'll go back, and then we can go back and finish up the eye. So to get this really dark color, I'm actually just going to mix all 3 of my colors together. This is cherry, Norway, and amber. Mixed together, it's going to make a really dark brown. Keenan, are you okay?
I'm fine. I just keep tripping on everything.
You do keep tripping on everything.
Brain injuries.
Yeah. Then I'm going to do my little pupil here. That's all I'm going to do for it. I'm not going to touch anything else right now because everything is wet and I don't want to like mess up that color. That's why watercolor is a little bit of like a back and forth in some areas because you have to wait for some things to dry and sometimes you got to work fast while it's wet. Just looking at this right now, one thing that is really distracting me is I want the color on the bottom to be a little bit darker because it needs to be a darker value down here to show that this is a 3-dimensional form and it's rounding away from us, right? That's why it's a darker value on the top and a darker value on the bottom because the light source is hitting the front of the fish. And so as this 3-dimensional object, the light moves, as it moves around, the light isn't hitting these areas because it's turning away from it. So that's why you got to make it a darker value. So I'm just going to go in and kind of put in, like, mix in a little bit of my yellow or green with my purple to kind of muddy it up just a little bit. Now, again, I would like to say that even though I'm telling you guys this, you still have the right to not listen to me. So like if you're just like, I don't care that it's not a darker value, I absolutely love the color that I got and I don't want to mess with it, then don't mess with it, then don't listen to me. You know what I mean? Like you guys are the ones that get to decide that because you're the artist. Okay, that feels a little bit better to me. And maybe I'll do it a little bit here too. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to do the little stripies here. I think these are their gills, but never mind. Don't say that because I don't know if that's true.
I think they're called freckles. Might as well just make it completely wrong.
Yep, Keenan, you're right. That's what it is. Put some orange in there. Okay. And then now I have an outline around the eye, and that is like a shadowed area. Now I can use just straight purple, but the purple might be really vibrant, so I actually put in a little bit of that green mixture to muddy it down. I'm just gonna work around the eye. Now, right around the actual eyeball part, that's where you want the value to be darkest, and then it transitions to a lighter value out. There. He looks so scared right now.
He's swimming as fast as he can.
It's like, I just want to be free. I just want to live my life. Okay, I'm not going to finish that eyeball yet because this black part's still super wet, and I don't want to risk touching that and having that like brown black color spread everywhere. So we're going to move on to the fins and the dots. So before I do the dots, I want to put my fins in. Now you guys are the artists, so you get to choose what colors you want your fins to be. I decided to make this one like a bright orange here. Like that. If you want it to run like transition to like a dark pink, you can. Again, you're the artist. Okay? And then now I'm going to do more of a purpley fin here, similar to the tail colors. Now again, what I like to do is I like to put the color down and then use just water to spread it out. That's how I'm going to get a value change, and that is really important in painting. Introduce a little bit of blue in there, maybe a little bit of pink too, because you know, YOLO. Yeah, look at that. Okay. And then the top part fin, it's very similar color. And I do have some detail lines on these fins. I'm not going to fill those until my fins are dry though. If I try and like put in some detail lines when it's wet like this, they'll just blend out. So again, it's just like taking your time. It's a dance. Okay. Okay, now we're going to let that dry for a second before we do the dots. And another thing I want to do before the dots is I want to address this glare area. So it is a glare, so fish is wet, and to communicate that something is wet, let me take a step back. Texture on things, to communicate what texture is, it's all about how the light hits the texture. That's how you communicate what texture it is. So when something is wet and the light is hitting it, there's lots of glare spots, and that's how we can tell that something is wet or moist, right? And then if it's really dry, then there usually aren't any glare spots. It's just like a matte. So like glossy, matte, that kind of thing. So this fish is wet, so it has a glare spot. Now we left it white. However, when you leave it just white without having any transition areas, then it almost just feels like you just painted a white bleh on it, and it doesn't feel like it's actually part of the fish. So what I like to do for my glares, and we did it similar in our boots tutorial back in November, we did some rain boots, is after I paint around it, I then take a clean damp brush and I just start pulling color to tone down this glare spot. So I'm just pulling color from what I have around it.
So you're not introducing new and more paint.
I'm not introducing more paint. I'm pulling from what's already there and I'm going along the edge, trying to leave the center more glare, like more just white, but already having that transition space, that now that looks like it's part of the fish. As before, I felt like it just looked like a white right across it. So that's how you can kind of communicate glares, is you avoid it and then you go back in and transition it into your painting. And if you have some bleed proof white and you want some like glare areas somewhere else, you can like just put some white, but I just left the main glare on the top of the fish. That was a choice that I made. I'm gonna blend these out just a little bit. Okay. Now, oh, there's one shadowed area I forgot to do around my eye. Look, so I got my outline, but then you see how this area kind of is shadowed and then it comes down to right in front of my orange spot. I don't have that on my painting, so I can put that in right now. There. Okay. So now what we can do is I'm going to do the detail lines on the fins using my round 2, and then we can do the dots. So whenever I do detail lines, you just want to make sure it's a darker value than what you're going to paint on so people can actually see it. And I'm just going to kind of follow the lines that we have in the outline. If you painted over them and you can't see them, just eyeball it. It's not a big deal. It's just a little bit like to show that there's like layers or some directional lines. To get thin lines, I'm using my round 2, and I'm doing more of a vertical hold. So I'm just using the tip of the paintbrush, like so. And then we have some in the tail also. So, and light pressure too. That's the wonderful thing about rounds, is if you push down, even vertical hold, and you push down hard, you're gonna get a thick line. So if you wanna keep it nice and light. And I went outside of my tail there, and I'm not mad about that. It's okay. That was pretty good. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. I want to do a little bit of purple underneath here. Okay. Let's finish our eyeball and then we'll do our dots. So the eyeball is kind of like this yellowy orange green color here, which I got by mixing my amber and a tiny, tiny bit of Norway. And I'm just going to go along here and put that color in. Now on the bottom back part of the eye, it's a lighter value. So I'm going to use just water. Is this on the close-up cam?
It is.
Okay. And you can always lift color out too if you want it to be nice and light on the back part to show that it's highlighted right there. You can just lift that color out. I'm actually going to reshape my eye to give it a more curved look. I feel like my eye just keeps getting smaller and smaller, but that's okay. Okay. Okay, there's our eye, and now we're gonna do the dots. So the dots, I use the same color that I did the eye, which is mixing all three of our colors together, Norway, cherry, and amber. And I'm gonna take my brush and just start doing dots on the top of the head. Now there are actually dots across the entire fish, if you look at the fish itself, but I hesitate to do an even spread of dots across the entire thing because it will automatically kind of flatten the dimension that we got from our fish, like by doing the different values. So that's why I'm only doing it like, we'll do it at the top and we'll do it at the back, but I'm not gonna do it across the entire thing, and I'm not gonna do it over the glare because I would be afraid that that would just like totally take whatever shape or form that we made and squeeze it into something two-dimensional. And your dots don't need to be perfect, and they can be random, and they can be different sizes. And I know you're gonna try really hard to make them perfect, and don't do that. Just like go for it. You can decide how close together you are. I feel like each fish is different. I looked at a few of them, so. And then they also have these dots on the fins themselves. So if you want to go in and put some dots on the fins, go for it. I just did the top one and the tail, but again, it's your painting. You guys get to decide. Okay, now we're gonna do our little strong dot splatters, these guys. You don't have to do this part, but if you want to learn how to do it, what I did is I got my round 6 wet, I picked up some Norway blue, and it's kind of, actually what you can do if you don't want the splatters to end up on your fish, is you can cover your fish with a paper towel or something. And I'm gonna get it nice and wet, like really, really wet, and then you're gonna kind of like, be careful what's around you. It will splatter everywhere, but you're gonna kind of like do a directional, so it's like you're whipping your arm almost a little bit. So it's wah, wah, and then on the back, wah, okay? And you do the same thing on the other side, going in the opposite direction. I had a little guy randomly drop by, that's fine. It looks like a bubble or something, you know? So like whatever direction your arm like goes, that's the line of these dots that you're getting. So if you want to like mix it up, then you need to like either turn your paper or turn your arm. But again, it's like forceful, and you're whipping your arm and you're using your shoulder. It's not just like using your wrist. Like that's not gonna do it. Oh, look at that.
That looks awesome.
That looks really, I like how I wanna do a stronger one back here. And I'm doing some more random ones because these are really, really directional, and which is fine, but I kind of want to throw some random ones in there too.
I feel like he just jumped out of the water.
Yeah, and I'm gonna lighten up this one right here that fell. There we go. Maybe blend around it so it's not sticking out so much. There we go. Oh yeah, that looks great. Okay. That's it, you guys. That's our rainbow trout. I hope you enjoyed this fun little bonus project that we decided to do. If you want the kit for this project, you can get it on our website, letsmakeart.com. It's 15 bucks. It comes with paint, paper, step-by-step, and a reference photo. And I had a lot of fun painting this. I hope you do too. And share it if you paint it. Tag us in it, Let's Go Make Art, or hashtag Let's Make Art. If you want to share the work that you're making and get some feedback, we have a wonderful Facebook group called Let's Make Art Watercolor. It's just for sharing your art. That's it. So it's a wonderful community. It has over 20,000 members. It's getting big, but it's very supportive. So it's a great place to join if you just want to see what other people are making or how they're also doing this project. And I think that's it. Thanks. Bye.